Who's texting me? Nobody. Nobody's texting me. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm trying something a little bit different today. So today I'm going to film this video not using a mic. I'm hoping that this will work. I will see. If it doesn't, then I'll refilm it and we'll try again. But I've already got my eyes primed so that we can get right to the good part. And as promised, last week I filmed with the Ace Beaute Flare palette. And this week I am going to film with the Nostalgia palette. And I'm super excited to try this. It's a very warm palette, obviously, with a little pop of green there. And I think I'm going to go ahead and keep it relatively warm. I may use that green on my lower lash line. Anyway, if you are new here, welcome. I appreciate your time here. My name is Amy, and I tend to do colorful looks, dramatic looks, try out lots of foundations, that kind of thing. And I'm a little bit older, and so if that seems like something that you are interested in, then I highly recommend that you subscribe, because I do upload pretty regular. Not like 5 videos a week or anything like that, but I try to at least upload once a week. And there's lots to watch out there, so I figure, you know, once a week is probably all that anybody, you know, really needs. But if I get something that's new and exciting and everything, then I tend to film with that as well. These are pretty new for me. I have swatched a couple of them, but in general, I don't know how this palette plays. So we're going to find that out today. I'm going to go ahead and scoot in a little bit so that you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. I don't think that, oh, there is one thing that I wanted to mention, sort of business-wise, as it were. I just passed my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, which was the 21st of May, and it's the 1st of June now. So I meant to mention it earlier, and I just, you know, I had it on my calendar and everything, and I completely forgot. That's just how my weeks have been going. But I did want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed in the last year. I really appreciate it. And if you can think of other people that might enjoy my content, I would love for you to share my channel with them. All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to scoot in, and we're going to get going on this, hopefully, really pretty, colorful look today. All right. I took a shower, and I just kind of jammed my hair up in some clips because I was like, I'm not washing my hair today. I just washed it yesterday. I'm not going to waste time doing that because I got shit to do. So I do have my eyes primed. As I mentioned, I used the Juvia's Place. Let me find it here. I used the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime Eye Primer. This is in shade number 1, so this one is very, very light. And it is, you know, most of these eye primers like this, I find you kind of have to tap out whatever little, you know, creasing and stuff like that that you get in between putting it on and actually getting to your eyeshadow. All right, we're jumping in. We're jumping into this lovely, lovely palette. I was quite pleased with the Flare palette, and I'm super excited about trying the Oceanic palette as well. So that will be probably the next video. I think I'm going to start out with the shade Popsicle, which is this shade right here. And it's pretty. It's like a pretty kind of an orangeade color. And I'm going to pop that into my crease. Is that what I want to do? Do I want to start out with my dark? Maybe I should start out with my darkest color. Let's do that. Nothing like making exciting decisions on the fly, right? Shall we do Camping, which is that really pretty red right there? Maybe I'll do that one. We'll see how vibrant and bold we can get this color. And if it's not quite dark enough, then I'll go into it with something else. I don't know what. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on that outer corner and see what we get. I hope everybody had a nice Memorial Day weekend and got to spend some time with the fam and do the things that you wanted to do. Enjoyed a few days off. Visited the graves of your loved ones if that was appropriate for you. That kind of thing. I personally, my husband and I spent the weekend doing yard work and that kind of thing, and a little bit of stuff around the house. It was actually really nice here in Seattle, so that was kind of a nice thing. Okay, that's nice and intense. I like that. Let's go ahead, and now I think I will go ahead and go into that popsicle shade. And then I think I might go over it with this sort of hot pink in here called Picnic. All right, so I'm going to pick up a little tiny brush, and I'm going to pick up that popsicle shade, and this is a Morphe M506. So this is a nice sort of detail-oriented brush. And I'm going to put that on this inner part of my crease here. And just above my crease. Don't worry, I'm going to blend that out, but I'm just kind of getting it on there to start. I can see where this one would be a really nice one as almost like a sort of transition shade. If you do that sort of thing, seems like it would be pretty easy to shear out and stuff. I'm not going to really do that. We're going to try to keep it nice and intense. I cleaned off my brush a little bit, and I'm just blending that upper edge. I'm going to take that same brush, clean it off a little bit, and I'm going to pick up the color Picnic, which is this really nice hot pink in here. And we're going to put that between the orange and the red, and blend those together. Wow, that's really intense. Boy, there's not a lot of difference between that and that red color. Like almost none. At least on the monitor here, I can see a little bit more of a difference in my mirror. But I feel like I could have gone in with that color on my outer corner and it would have been just fine. So I thought seriously today about doing something with my Coastal Scents hot pots and that kind of thing, because if you've been paying attention or you get emails from Coastal Scents, you know that they went out of business. I'm not sure how that happened. It seemed very sort of abrupt, but there you go. And I saw that Angie did this video also because she wanted to talk about it and then just use like some of their shadows and everything. I don't know, very, very sort of surprising. So I'm blending out these edges with the color called Flower, which is a really nice sort of mauve tone. And just blending out those edges. What I think I'll do is probably go in with a clean brush and blend a little bit more just to kind of smoosh everything together. All right, same brush, clean it off. I'm going to go back into Camping and just see if I can bring back some of that redness of that one, because that pink one was really pretty intense. Like I'm not mad about it, but I'm like, wow, that was something else. And I'm just trying to pack this on. I'm going to take a fluffy brush here, relatively clean, and I'm just going to kind of buff over these edges a little bit and see if I can blend this out, diffuse those edges. So I'm going to pick up another brush and I'm going to take that popsicle color again, and this time I'm going to bring it over that pink a little bit and really focus on where that pink and that sort of orangey color meet. So it feels like it's a little bit patchy right here. Maybe not, but let's see if we can. I found that in the Flare palette that these did not like build especially well, which is part of the reason that I went in with that darkest, most intense color first. This is an even smaller brush, and I'm going to put that right in the crease. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of glitter primer. This is the Too Faced one. And put a little bit on my lid here so that I can put one of these shimmers over it. I'm not even sure which one. I think I'm going to do Heat because that's, I don't know, we'll see. I'll swatch them for you here in a second. And then I'll decide which one I want to put on there. But there are only 3 shimmers in this particular palette. I think there were 4 in the Flare palette. So I like to have a lot of mattes and stuff at my disposal. And so I appreciate palettes that don't have like, you know, 50% or more as in shimmers. That's just me. I love a good shimmer, of course. But, you know, sometimes you want something a little different than that. Okay, so there's the shimmers here. And those are really pretty. Heat, Stargazing, and Fun. So there they are. What do we think? I might do that orange one. That would be fun. I think. That's Stargazing. So I'm just going to pick that up on my brush that I had my glitter primer on. And I'm going to bring this up above my crease. I'm going to try to work with that little patchy spot there, which may or may not be the shadows. It might be the way that I put my primer on originally. Who the heck knows? That's very pretty. Super easy to work with too. And they feel nice and creamy. I think you could absolutely use your fingers to apply this. I don't usually, unless that's the best way to apply something. But so far a brush seems to be working fine. I just happen to like using a brush because of my nails. That's really nice. Okay, on the other side of that same brush, I'm going to take the color Heat and just on the very sort of tip of it so I can control it. I'm going to put that right between that orange shimmer and that matte red. And I'm just adding a little tiny bit just to use, you know, a number of the colors in this palette. Not necessarily because I think it needs it. Yeah, that's pretty. Wow, those are very wet wipes. I just opened a package of these from Cala Rosewater. You can see I got them at Ross for $3.99. So I don't use these a lot on my face, like per se. I certainly don't use them to like remove my makeup or anything like that. But they are nice to clean up swatches and my fingers and stuff from doing swatches. And then I do tend to use them under my eyes and stuff to clean up. I'm trying to decide if that seems like enough darkness out there. I wonder, let's go ahead and try this. I don't think it's going to work, but let's go ahead and try this. I'm going to pick up the color Raspberry, which is a nice sort of purple shade. I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to take a pencil brush, really small brush, and I'm going to put that just like right in the outer corner here, just to see if these layer at all, deepen at all. little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I'm not totally blown away by the layering ability of these. So I'm just making kind of almost like a little sort of C shape in this outer corner. Let's take a clean brush and just sort of lightly blend that. I hope this is recording sound. If it's not, damn. All right, so let's go ahead and clean this up. I am going to go do some liner, some lashes, the rest of my makeup. Won't be anything new and exciting as far as that goes, I don't think, because I don't have anything new, I don't think. As far as like foundation and that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and I will share with you some final thoughts on the Nostalgia palette from Beaute. I'll be right back, guys. All right, for some final thoughts on the Beaute Nostalgia palette. I went in underneath with the green color in here, which is called Theme Park, and I did a little bit of one of the shimmery colors called Fun in my inner corner. And you know, in general, I'm so far super pleased with this palette. I think that it's not as maybe versatile as I might like. I mean, you're gonna get a warm look out of this, almost certainly, unless you just went in with beach here and maybe the green. That might be the most neutral color story that you could get out of this palette, but let's be honest. If you're buying a palette like this, you're not looking for neutral. This is definitely a colorful palette. Let me swatch a couple of the shades that I did not use. So I'm going to do Water Slide, which is the yellow, Flip Flops, which is the sort of fuchsia pink, purpley pink, and let's do Carnival and Hiking. I'm like, I've got 4 fingers, I can do 4. So those are some of the other colors. Now there's a lot of kick up in this palette because it is a pressed pigment palette. So you know, like I always say, if that bothers you, then you know this is probably not going to be the palette for you. But there's some just quick finger swatches. I'm not very good at swatches. I wish that this color right here, Hiking, was a little bit darker because I think that would be super versatile in this palette, because you've already got quite a few reds and pinks and things like that, and that orange. So it'd be kind of nice to have like a super dark but warm brown in here. And so I do wish that one was a little bit of a darker shade. The shimmers in here are really nice. Even the color Beach, which is not, you know, a color that I tend to reach for, is a really nice sort of blending out shade. And so I appreciate having something like that in a palette, just, you know, for the sake of convenience. But of course, most of us have those colors many times over. But overall, I think that this palette is worth it. Now, I picked this up in the Oceanic palette together in a bundle. I think I mentioned that in my first video with the Flare palette. And so you get a little bit of a discount when you buy it that way. I believe that these are available individually, and if I remember right, and I'll put it above, I think they're $38. Don't quote me on that. But in general, I think this is a really nice palette. I'm happy with it. I think it makes a nice companion with the Flare palette, which is this one right here. So you would think that this one right here would be like a really nice dark brown, but it's, again, I don't love the way that these layer or don't layer as a matter of, you know, practice. So it looks really nice, but if you want it dark like that, you're going to have to go in with it first. And so far out of 2, this is 2 hits out of 3. We'll see what the Oceanic palette brings tomorrow or whenever I get to film that. But overall, I'm really happy with my look today. It's very sort of tropical looking, I think. And I like the green really a lot. I'd like to play with that a little bit more, especially in conjunction with the 2 or 3 with the greens and blues and stuff in the Flare palette, because I think that would be really nice. You could get a really cool blue, green, yellow palette by combining these two, I think. So there's quite a bit of, you know, variety, I think. A lot of different kinds of looks that you could get. If you wanted to go a little bit more neutral, bring in some of the colors from the Flare palette, because there are a couple of neutrals in there. So I think that's going to do it for today. I like this palette. I expect to like the Oceanic palette. And I think I'm going to probably do the ColourPop Fade into Hue palette after I get done with the Ace Beaute palettes. So definitely watch out for those. I'm hoping to get a couple of foundations that I want to try here very soon. Today for my foundation, let me just share real quick. I'll put everything down below like I always do. But I use the Tarte Maracuja Tinta Hydrator because it's kind of warm today and I am going out, but I didn't want anything super full coverage, because that's just not what I was feeling today. I don't love this, but it's not bad. I got the color Tint and Fair Neutral. I could probably have gone like a shade darker while still keeping it neutral, because it is a really nice neutral color, at least in my mind. So I think that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time here. I hope you know that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it while you were watching. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you like colorful, fun stuff like this on somebody that's a little bit more mature. Maybe you're a little bit more mature and you want to have a little more fun with your makeup. I think you might be in the right place. Until my next video, bye guys.